They defunded the Department of Education. What else do you say? I love Tesla. I love Tesla. Everything's computer. I love Tesla. I love Nintendo. Everything's computer. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Just get in now. DC tomorrow. Yeah. That's right. Switch 2 pre-orders are delayed in the United States amidst the new Trump tariffs. Let's take a look.
Disappointing update for you, lovely people. As reported by The Verge, Nintendo has halted pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2 in the United States. The original plan was that it would start on the 9th of April, but that is not the case anymore. There is no new date at the time of recording. Nintendo have simply stated that they will update the timing at a later date. However, the launch date of the 5th of June has not changed. The reasoning for this is to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. If you need me to spell it out any more clearly than that, this is...
It's Trump. It's because of Trump. It's directly Trump. And it's so undeniably Donald Trump's insane actions that, like, gamers cannot even point the finger at Brandon, which is the saddest part of this. Because normally, at the very least, you could be like, oh, this is somehow Brandon's fault. But if you're a reactionary gamer right now who wants to, like, play the new Nintendo Switch stuff, and I assume many reactionary gamers don't even play Nintendo stuff because, like, it's baby games and they're big burly men and they look to what the latest Nintendo releases are so they can just be like, this is for girls. And it's like, yeah, it is. Why are you commenting on this? But that's besides the point. I'm sure there are some right-wing gamers out there that are like, you don't need it. You want it. Exactly. But yeah, for all the Christian gamers out there that want to play family-friendly games and stuff, get wrecked. You're not going to be able to do that. And it is directly because of Donalde. Okay? It is directly because of the Don. JD Pondon said, no more treats. JD Pondon said, permanent first world genocide. The suburbs will cry tears of blood. He said he is going to disrupt the commodity production piece by piece and rebuild it in the most spectacular fashion. He's going to do it all. That's my GOAT. That's my king. No more games, no more treats, ladies and gentlemen.
What this boils down to is because of these recent tariffs, the Nintendo Switch 2 may not launch at the previously listed price of $449.99. Nintendo had also previously announced that the Switch 2 would be able to pre-order from their own website starting on the 8th of May, but it is not clear whether this date has been affected or not. We'll have a full list of sources in the description down below if you want to read more into this. For now, though, I'll leave.
Yeah, JD Pondon, degrowth Don. You don't need the treats. You fucking treat Larites Don. All right. Companies are seeing impacts from the stock market plunge after the tariffs announcement, of course.
President Trump's trade war. His tariffs sent shockwaves through the market. Stocks had their biggest one-day loss in 5 years. It's been since the pandemic. More than $3 trillion of value was wiped out. The worst one-day losses for the S&P and 500 and the NASDAQ since 2020. Because concerns are growing about the impact on businesses and consumers. Trevor Alt is on Wall Street with the latest. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, George. And this harsh drop in the markets is only fueling fears of a potential recession. JP Morgan analysts have now updated their chance of a recession this year to 60%, meaning they think it's more likely than not. And we have seen stocks get heavily slashed since these tariffs were made official, and it seems like the bleeding may not stop anytime soon.
Please, Mr. President, the bleeding is too much. I will say you will keep bleeding. You'll say so much winning. You'll say, Mr. President, please, no more winning. I'll say, no, we're gonna keep winning.
This morning, the widespread fallout from President Trump's sweeping tariffs. The stock market losing $2.5 trillion in value Thursday.
Bro, by the way, look, I'm not one of these like anarchist style lefties.
Tariffs.
Okay.
The stock market.
But money is so fake. I'm sorry. I'm done with this whole bullshit. Okay. It's so fucking made up. Dude. It is money is the most made up thing. Money throughout the history of mankind Money has never been as made up as it is right now. Okay? $2.5 trillion in value wiped out overnight, and your day is the same. If money was real, if this was real, people would be killing themselves. People would be literally grabbing the pitchforks to murder one another with pitchforks. And because they don't have anything else. No more commodities are being produced. It's a dead halt. Okay? It's just like, you can never convince me. You can never convince me that money is real. You will never be able to convince me that money is real. I mean, this is the other reason why I said that. Yeah, one of these men did not attend the inauguration. Okay? Elon Musk lost $11 billion. Jeff Bezos lost $15.9 billion. Mark Zuckerberg, $17.9 billion. Warren Buffett, only $2.57 billion. Okay? And it's like, I'm sorry, dude. That's just nothing. That's not real. We need to stop this. We need to stop entertaining this stuff. Okay? We need to go back to the fucking barter system. We need to go back to the gold standard. I don't know. It's just something different. Okay? No, everyone's getting poorer. Everyone's getting poorer. Why do Democrats fall back on the same tired message as the situation changes and the rich get richer? Oh, not the working rich. To the many investors coming into the United States and investing massive amounts of money, my policies will never change. This is a great time to get rich, richer than ever before. Yeah. And Chuck Schumer said, and the rich get richer. And Josh Barrow said, no. It's a fire sale for billionaires. What are these people smoking? Not yet. But yes. Call me Donald with the way she plunging on my stock. Nice. That's a good one. Peach jars. Yeah, I suspect that Chuck Schumer is talking about, yes, the tax cuts that are incoming, or even the fact that like this presents an opportunity for wealthy people who will now consolidate even further, engage in even further consolidation of wealth. So this is the best edit yet. Yeah, I watched this earlier.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much.
But it's also like, yo, low key, a lot of you guys in this chat, okay, are middle class, you're working a fucking job, you're not at the age where you're even like thinking about your retirement, but you're looking at your 401k and it's like bleeding, right? This also kind of goes back to the idea that I'm talking about here about money being fake, where it's like your life was already shit and now your future is shit, right? Like in the future, you suspect it'll be more shit. That's the only thing that changed. Like your life as of this moment has not gotten significantly worse. It probably will as a consequence of people's purchasing power diminishing and then companies engaging in layoffs, and which will then obviously make the situation even less manageable. All of these things are slated to happen in the future, but it's like there's not even a bank run taking place. You know what I mean? Like it's just all designed in a way where this shit is freaking fake, dude. Is consolidation of wealth really what's happening? I feel like there's easier ways for the president of America to do that. Yeah, I don't think that this is intentional to like make a wealth consolidation happen. I don't think he's like intentionally applying this market shock so his like buddies can come in and sweep everything else. That's just a normal part of the process, I think. It's just what happens. My index funds are in the bin. I'm 23 and no 401k. Is that okay? Can't do a bank run when there's no money to take out. Yeah. The comments here had me really sad the other day. What is this? Something is very wrong with America. Elderly servers in her 70s and she can hardly walk. The table next to this woman asked why she was still working, and she said she only makes $910 a month on Social Security, and she has to still work because her bills exceed $910 a month. Yeah, let's help her retire. $250,000 raised so far. Yeah, this is it, dude. This is the future. The future is like one lucky member of the peasant class, one lucky member of the peasantry will get the rest of the peasantry to raise funds so they can actually retire in a normal with like normal finances, as opposed to a government-funded initiative that will allow everyone to have that same opportunity. It's fantastic. We can feel good about it too. Yeah, the GoFundMe-fication of social safety nets is crazy. But yeah, things are not great, to say the least.
Losing $2.5 trillion in value Thursday.
Yeah, 6% is the latest number that we're at. As of 6 minutes ago, SPX index down almost 6%. Holy baloney. God damn.
The worst single-day plunge since the pandemic lockdowns 5 years ago. Multinational corporations with manufacturing in Asia, like Apple, tumbling more than 9%. Dell, Best Buy, and Nike dropping around 15% or more. And now, as more tariffs are set to go into effect at midnight, many companies are already reeling.
I think there's something very funny about Donald Trump getting his experts to compile this like 200-page foreign trade barriers estimation report, and then not using those foreign trade barriers that were calculated in the actual calculation, because the actual calculation is much simpler, which also is a story from Washington Post, scoop from Jeff Stein. President Trump personally selected the now widely mocked formula for determining the country's specific tariffs from a menu of options, multiple sources say. Numerous Trump aides at NEC, CEA, Commerce, USTR had 4 weeks been working, crafting country-specific tariffs that took into account a broad range of tariff and non-tariff barriers. Several sources said more sophisticated approaches had been developed. It's actually not that hard to develop a more sophisticated approach. Doing nothing would probably be a more sophisticated approach to, as opposed to what Trump did. So, like literally, if they were just like, "Hey, Mr. President, how about we don't do anything?" If that was the approach that he took, that would be more sophisticated. They didn't do that. They took the least sophisticated route, which is all of those trade barriers that are in that booklet are irrelevant to the calculation here. The calculation here is entirely done by looking at the deficit, okay? Looking at the trade deficit and deciding on the arbitrary designation of how much tariffs these countries have applied to us. Oh, I'm sorry, do you not want to purchase our F-150s because they don't fit in your roads? Guess what, dude? Sucks to suck. You're not buying enough from us, okay? Madagascar, why are you not getting our gas cars? That's a trade deficit. That's a tariff. We've decided a trade deficit is a tariff. And that's precisely how we're going to operate going forward. Okay. Yeah. Madagascar. How about gas cars? Okay. Specifically Ford. Okay. Or Chevy. One of them. I can't confirm precisely who authored the one Trump picked. We have suspicions. It might be ChatGPT, but it bears striking similarities to the methods previously backed publicly by Peter Navarro. As I've talked about before, Peter Navarro is the ultimate China hawk. He's Mr. Steal Your Tariffs. He's Mr. Disrupt the Global Economy. He's Mr. We need to decouple from China. And he's Trump's top guy. He's Trump's bravest soldier, most loyal soldier, at the forefront of this kind of activity. So Trump is doing it. He's doing the dang thing. The definitive story of Trump's whirlwind trade direction. And here's what they said. It's from Natalie Allison, Michael Birnbaum, Kat Zacharowski, and led by Amy E. Gardner, all at the Washington Post. He's at the peak of just not giving a bleep anymore, said a White House official with knowledge of Trump's thinking. Bad news stories, doesn't give a bleep. He is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to do what he promised to do on the campaign trail. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. That's not good. Not good at all, because he promised a lot of awful shit, okay? Are you surprised to see that Switch 2 pre-orders are delayed because of this? No. Why would I be surprised about that? Of course not. Very cool, very interesting, cool zone shit that's going on in the United States of America. Holy baloney.
Affected midnight, many companies are already reeling. Restoration Hardware stock plummeted 40%. The CEO reacting in real time on an earnings call.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I just looked at the screen.
No, is this good?
I just looked at the screen. I hadn't looked at it. It got hit when I think the tariffs came out.
Economic anxieties are also rippling through the auto industry, now facing...
Dude. Dude, the photos coming from the New York Stock Exchange floor yesterday are insane. There is a little bit of catharsis here. I'm sorry. Like, there is a moment of vindication, I think, for people like myself, because we look at like how heavily financialized our global marketplace is, and the ramifications of that are so severe. So when you look at like all the loyal peons that have upheld this system, and you watch them in shock, in true utter horror, that like one singular baboon-brained dipshit can just destroy everything for them in ways that they never could have comprehended, coming from not left field, but right field. All of a sudden, there's like a moment of catharsis, like where you're like, well, you know, how about you guys feel this a little bit? You know what I mean? Because for the average American, this is a daily part of the problem. Now, of course, the way that the stock market works, obviously the gains are privatized and the losses are socialized. So like you're fucked way harder than everybody else. Make no mistake. But I think like it is such a wild set of circumstances that has unfolded. As it stands, we don't have the manufacturing power. We do not have the manufacturing power right now. So even if for Donald Trump, in his perfect vision, for Donald Trump's perfect vision to become reality, America would need to overnight open up endless factories, facilities with incredible amounts of foreign capital and investment coming in, right? And not like Hyundai facilities, because like Hyundai has opened up facilities, but they're not technically made in America. So like he wants to take that out as well. Like he wants all of these other companies to basically go away, to not be able to sell to the United States of America. And then he wants those countries to purchase from us. But we don't have supplies. We don't have the facilities. We don't have the infrastructure as it stands. So even if you built the infrastructure overnight, which is impossible, it's physically impossible, it's not going to fucking happen, then what? We just start manufacturing all this stuff, and they have to buy it at our price point? Like, how that expectation is so stupid. Everything that I'm talking about would require, at least in the most expeditious manner, Chinese style, command economy, central planning style, eminent domain, moving the labor force around aggressively without any sort of political repercussions. That, with all of that in mind, that's a 10-year plan, minimum. America does not even have the skeleton to be able to do this.